actually want to show really quickly how to open a coconut. I know it's kind of intimidating for a lot of first-time raw foodies or anybody that's kind of getting into this lifestyle. It actually took me until I started working here to get comfortable with opening a coconut. So I wanted to demonstrate that really briefly. I'm using a little bit of vanilla for flavor and salt, and it's really simple, just a few ingredients.
Do you mind if I take the recipe and have it posted under the video?
No, please do.
Okay.
In fact, I made copies for you.
So we'll post this recipe under the video for you. So I'm going to get out of your way, and if you need me, let me know and do your thing.
Cool, thanks. So I already had the chia seeds soaking, and what I did was, like I said, I used chai tea, and I made sure that I brewed a really strong chai tea mixture, and it's about 2 cups is what I used. And then from here I actually placed the tea in a bowl, and then I added the chia seeds while whisking, and that helps to prevent clumps. And I set this aside while I was preparing my other ingredients and just kind of whisking it from time to time as it's gelling so that there's no clumping. But since that's actually ready for me right now, it's actually at the consistency I want, I'm gonna just go ahead and make the cream. And like I said, I wanted to show how to open a coconut. And this is a young Thai coconut, and they come pre-shaved like this, where all the brown fur or anything is shaven off. So move that over. And the way I open this is, there was a variety of techniques that were taught to me when I came here, and a lot of them seemed a little uncomfortable, a little scary to me. So this is the technique that our head chef, Matt, at the time taught me, and I want to show you because it's the most comfortable that I found. And what I do is actually place it on its side, and it could be any of the sides, and I use a utility knife. I don't like to use a nice chef knife because it can damage your blade. You could also use a cleaver if you have a cleaver, but just kind of like a hardy knife that's got a good sized blade. It doesn't have to be particularly sharp, it just needs to be able to get through the husk. And the first thing I do is actually cut off that tip. And that just makes it easier for me when I shave off this extra white husk, and I go around in a circle.
This is the way I learned how to do it too, that felt comfortable to me, but Steven's really good with the hatchet, so I just let him do that.
Yeah, and that was another thing, like I was hearing stories about people using like machetes, and I'm like, oh God, I don't know if I can ever open a coconut. But, so I just go around and I make sure to get all that extra white husk off, and that's just because once I crack into it, it's going to make it easier to pop the lid off without it getting stuck by the fibers of the husk. That side. And I actually like to use both a utility knife and a cleaver. I think the cleaver has a little more power in getting into the coconut, but you can use one or the other if you don't have both. And I just find kind of like a soft spot or maybe like a flat spot. I find those are easier to get in. And I just whack it with the edge or the back edge of my knife, and just a firm crack. Oops, I actually cut off the center of it, and I actually meant to cut into this side. And again, that's just kind of like your eye-hand coordination. But what I'm gonna do is just pour the coconut water into container. Yeah, I actually think this is a bad one, but it's good because I already got my coconut meat. But let me show that again because I want to show what you should do. I just wanted to dump out the coconut water so it didn't spill. But basically, you want to hit it closest to the edge where your shaving is, because that's going to give you a bigger lip, and you can actually get in there and get all the coconut meat out. Where it is right now, it's kind of too small. So I'm going to try that one more time. There we go. And you just kind of rotate the knife, and it'll cut through that husk really well. And there you can see the hole's a little bit bigger.
But this is actually good. So if you buy a case of coconuts or even a single coconut from Whole Food or from an Asian market, and it's any shade of pink or purple or gray, don't eat or drink that one. That one's gone funky. We're lucky we get to bring them back to our Asian market, and they'll often replace them. But if you're wondering, hey, does this look right? The answer is no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So don't drink that one.
Yeah, thank you, because that's another thing. When we're making desserts in the back, we go through cases and cases of coconuts, and sometimes we do come across a purple one or a pink one, and we throw those out. But I also want to show really quickly how I demeat it, and I gut out the meats. I actually use a rubber spatula, and I take the tip and I kind of wedge it in between the shell and the meat. And because it's rubber, it just really gently separates.
Nice.
Yeah, and I know some people like to use a spoon, but it sometimes scrapes the shell off with
Yeah, and it
the
ruins
coconut.
all our spoons.
Yeah, and then it's more difficult because then you have to go through the coconut meat and kind of pick out all the pieces, and it just comes right out.
Okay, so that looks wrong.
Yeah.
Just a reminder.
And this is actually the coconut meat that we want to use, is the white coconut meat.